Sir, I'm not going to argue with you.
I'm just asking for clarification. I'm not going to sign.
If you're not signing, then I have to take you into custody.
I'm scared when he does this sentence, he's going to get out and finish what he started. I still have nightmares from how this man treated me and how he used to stomp and beat me for no reason.
Colton Washlow was not forthcoming with his name. When he pretended not to know what I was asking, he claimed that he did not know how his name would show in our system.
Board, would you like to enter, please, at this time?
No.
Well,
Yeah, I don't understand. If you're able to enter in a plea for me, then I should have another court date.
yeah, well, that's not how it works.
This one gets crazy. First, we've got a sovereign citizen who thinks traffic laws only apply if you personally signed a contract agreeing to them. He walks into court acting like he cracked the code of the legal system right up until the judge reminds him how actual authority works. And then we switch over to a domestic abuser whose victim delivers one of the most chilling impact statements I've heard in a while. It goes from internet lawyer comedy to very real consequences. Let's dive in.
False statement to a public servant is the charge on 563, and driving suspended third degree is a charge on 562. And Mr. Waslum, if I'm correct, you don't want an attorney to assist you with arraignment here this morning?
I will be standing on as my own counsel.
Okay.
I've appointed myself as my own counsel, and I'm ready to proceed with administrative procedural matters.
Do you want to hear a formal reading of your rights?
Sure. But they would be not all limited to those rights, right? There would be more that are not included, right?
With what?
The rights you're about to read, it's to my understanding that there's more than just those rights. I was just making it on the record that
Start with rights, and there's actually a written version if you want to review it.
well, there's the written version, but there are more rights to that. It's not just limited to those rights.
Those are your constitutional rights, and it's a summary of your
That
rights.
is not limited to that.
Do you want to review it in writing, or we have it on paper, we have it on the computer?
You can review it, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, so you want the court to read it out loud
Sure.
rather than review it on
Yes, please.
writing? Okay, let me get to that document. You have the right to be represented by an attorney of your own choosing at all proceedings. And if it's determined you cannot afford an attorney after screening, you'll be appointed one if you want one. If you don't waive your right to an attorney, even if you don't have one at arraignment, you don't waive your right to a later proceeding having counsel. You're presumed innocent of any charges until it's proven beyond a reasonable doubt. If you do want to waive your right to a jury trial, then it would be set before a judge without a jury. And you have the right to call witnesses on your own behalf. If they don't come voluntarily, the court can compel their appearance to testify. You have the right to testify on your own behalf. And then if you feel you cannot have a fair trial because of bias or prejudice of a particular judge, you have the right to ask for a different judge within 10 days of the actual notice of assignment to that judge. That would be for a trial. You're only entitled to one change of judge. If it does go to trial, you have the right to appeal if there's a finding of guilt following the trial by judge or jury. Do you have any questions about these rights?
No.
Would you like to hear the police report read out loud for a determination of probable cause?
Sure.
Officer Beirut was Aragad Sandoval. I butchered the last name. On 8/18/2025 at approximately 0328 hours, I was on routine patrol in the downtown area. I saw a black VW Jetta with Washington plate BKL0099 switching lanes multiple times. I ran the plate on my MDT and it showed that the registration was expired. I activated my lights. The driver, later identified as Colton Washlow, kept driving for several seconds. He pulled into an alley on the 600 block of East Chestnut Street. I approached the vehicle. The driver cracked the window about an inch. I informed the driver I pulled him over for his registration being expired. Colton Washlow stated that his registration was not expired. I advised him that DOL was showing his registration expired in June of 2025. I asked the driver for his documentation. Colton Washlow stated all his documents, including his driver's license, were in the trunk of the car. I asked Colton Washlow to tell me his name, date of birth. He claimed it was Colton James. He asked if I wanted his family name. I replied multiple times that I needed his name the way it appears on his driver's license. He said that is how it shows. I ran his name through dispatch and it came back with no results. Officers ran the registered owner of the vehicle, Crystal Bennett Burgess, through Longarm. She showed history with a Colton Washlow. Officers ran the name through DOL and matched the photo to the person driving. I ran Colton Washlow's name through dispatch once more. Dispatch advised that Colton Washlow license was suspended in the third degree. Due to Colton Washlow's driving while suspended in the third degree, probable cause existed for his arrest. I informed Colton Washlow that he was driving suspended and I needed him to step out of the vehicle. He got out and I placed him in handcuffs with no incident. I checked the cuffs for fit and double locked them so they would not close around his wrists. I searched Colton Washlow, incident to arrest, found his driver's license in his left pocket. I read Colton Washlow his constitutional rights from my department-issued Miranda card. I cited Colton Washlow for driving suspended license. For driving suspended license third for driving on a suspended license. I cited Colton Washlow for making false statements to a public servant. Colton Washlow was not forthcoming with his name when told he needed to provide law enforcement with his identity on a traffic stop. After asking Colton Washlow multiple times for his driver's license, he pretended not to know what I was asking and ultimately provided the name Colton James. When asked if that was the way his name showed on his driver's license, he kept saying he was not in commerce. He claimed that he did not know how his name would show in our system. Colton Washlow kept stating his family name was different than what he gave me multiple times. Due to Colton Washlow's claiming his driver's license was in the trunk of his car when it was actually in his pocket and providing a different name than the one on his driver's license after being asked several times if it matched his identification, Colton Washlow knowing his license was suspended, it is reasonable to believe that Colton Washlow was purposefully not providing his legal name for the purpose of misleading officers. It's occurred in the city of Bellingham, state of Washington.
Anything further on the sworn testimony?
No.
The court finds probable cause is established for these two charges to go forward. Would you like to enter pleas at this time?
No.
Well, it's
Thank you.
either guilty or not guilty.
I'm innocent.
Not guilty pleas are entered on your behalf,
Well, then,
preserving all of your defenses.
I mean, if you're going to enter a non-guilty plea on my behalf, then if you think I'm not guilty, then I'm not guilty and we're good. It's dismissed or...
So do you want to be heard on release?
Ask that Mr. Washlow be released on his personal recognizance.
I can entertain it?
Not guilty pleas mean you preserve all your defenses. If you want to bring motions, that's up to you.
I'd like the motion for dismissal.
You need to follow all of the criminal rules of law. If you don't want an attorney to assist you with that, then it's on you to research.
I didn't give a plea. I'm not going to plea in the court today. I don't want to be any part of this.
The court's entered a not guilty plea on your behalf, both charges.
So then it's over. We're good?
You're released on your personal recognizance. Conditions of release, please conduct yourself lawfully. Don't pick up any new criminal charges while released on these. Do not drive without a valid license, proof of insurance, part of lawful behavior. And your presence is required at your next court hearing, which is a pretrial that's set for October 10 at 1:30.
Yeah, I don't understand. If you're able to enter in a plea for me, then I shouldn't have another court date.
Yeah, well, that's not how it works. The plea just preserves all your defenses. It's not a finding. And there's no final adjudication of not guilty here.
But the rights that I have that you read out.
Would you like to apply for a public defender to help you?
I'm just wondering why the rights that you had said and had read out said that I'm presumed innocent until proven guilty. Why would I have to enter a not guilty or guilty plea if I'm innocent until proven guilty by that statement?
Sir, I'm not going to argue with you.
I'm just asking for clarification.
Clarification is you have entered, or the court on your behalf has entered not guilty pleas because you don't wish to plead guilty.
So then it's been dismissed.
Which preserves all your defenses, and the city needs to then prove the elements of the crime in order to have a finding of guilt. Or if they can't prove it, not guilt.
But if the court puts...
Sir, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm
just trying to clarify.
Your pretrial release order is ready for your review and signature. Would you like the documents printed, emailed, or both?
I do not wish to contract with the court.
Emailed, printed, or both?
You do whatever you would like, but
No, I'm asking you. Do you want them printed, emailed, or both?
I'm not going to sign.
If you're not signing, then I have to take you into custody.
Wow. Watch how fast all that sovereign citizen confidence disappears the second custody gets mentioned. A minute ago he's talking about consent and contracts, now he's suddenly very cooperative. I feel like that's always how it goes with these sovereign idiots. The philosophy lasts right up until somebody says the word jail. It's just so satisfying to watch.
Instead of bail them out. So it's easy if you want to sign. You're not giving up any of your defenses.
Well, but you're entering in a plea for me when I'm still not understanding what's If you, the court, say that I'm not guilty.
No, what I said is I'm entering a not guilty plea. I'm not finding you not guilty.
Okay, but why not just put down innocent? I'm not pleading.
Here, I'll put down innocent on the bottom, that you're asserting that you're innocent of these charges. If you
Okay.
can get out of the signing part, please. I have put that information in the form for your review, and now it's ready for your signature. And once it's signed, would you like it printed, email,
please.
or both?
Yes, please.
Yes would be both.
Yes.
Okay. You're also being provided the essential elements of the crimes. So first, Madam Clerk is printing these up. Here's one more. And then she'll also email them to you.
Cool. Thank you.
Once you have your paper copies from the officer, you're free to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This guy really walked into court thinking he hacked the legal system. He's talking about contracts, refusing to sign, acting like none of this applies to him, until the judge says one sentence: if you don't sign, I'm taking you into custody. And just like that, everything changes. The confidence disappears instantly. Now he's cooperating, signing, saying thank you. It's crazy how fast that sovereign citizen mindset collapses the second real consequences show up. And what makes it even heavier is right after this, you hear a victim describing real fear and abuse. It goes from delusion to reality real quick, and that contrast hits hard.